Well, over here on wolfstreet.com, there's actually a couple of articles I want to talk about on his site today. One of them is the Fed actually begins its QE unwind. But what's happening with those mortgage-backed securities? That was one of the lion's share things that they scooped up, the junk assets I always refer to on the bank's balance sheets, that they got 100 cents on the dollar, of course. But that's the second video. The first video I want to focus on. Spain just lit a fuse under Catalonia, its richest region. This is the one that wants to separate. They pretty much declared independence and all that. Acute uncertainty is like sand in the gears of the local economy. It's amazing how fast the wheels of the Spanish justice system go around when the establishment wants them to, and how slowly they revolve when it doesn't, which is usually when members of the same establishment, senior politicians and civil servants, banksters, business owners, or even royalty, are in the dock, which is happening with disturbing regularity these days. On Thursday, we saw Spanish justice at its fastest. In the dock was the recently sacked vice president of Catalonia's separatist government, Oriol Junqueras, and 7 other elected representatives of the breakaway region who stand accused of a litany of charges, including rebellion, which carries a maximum sentence of 30 years imprisonment. The counsel for the defense had less than 24 hours to prepare for the case. After just a few hours of hearing preliminary evidence, the National Court judge sent half of Catalonia's suspended government to jail without bail. On Friday, the same judge issued an international arrest warrant for Carles Puigdemont, the disputed Catalan president who fled to Brussels on Monday, as well as 4 other former ministers who did not show up to the court on Thursday. Catalonia's separatist politicians are paying a very high price for overplaying their hand. As we warned months ago, many in the Catalan government had hoped that threatening to declare independence unilaterally, or even following through on the threats, which it kind of did on Friday, might be enough to push the Spanish government into having to compromise. It was a massive bluff, and it's now safe to say it hugely backfired. But while jailing Catalonia's elected government may be justifiable by Spanish law, and what will probably go some way to placating the more revanchist elements of the Spanish public, it will also further inflame tensions and polarize divisions within Spain's northeastern region, while doing yet more damage to the tattered image of Spanish democracy in the rest of the world. It also risks exacerbating economic uncertainty and instability in Catalonia, Spain's richest region. Just when things appeared to be returning to some semblance of normality, as local people and the region's political parties turned their attention to regional elections scheduled for December 21st, Rajoy, his government, and the judges they help appoint just lit a fuse under the region. In Catalonia today, it's virtually impossible to tell what will happen tomorrow, let alone this time next month or next year. Such acute uncertainty is like sand in the gears of the local economy. Rather than slowing, the exodus of Catalan-based companies to other parts of Spain has actually accelerated in the wake of Madrid's activation of Article 155 of Spain's constitution. On Tuesday alone, an additional 99 companies bid farewell to Catalonia, albeit merely on paper for now. Spain's central bank yesterday warned that the current crisis could, in the worst-case scenario, end up shaving 2.5% off of Spain's GDP in the next 2 years. That could be very optimistic if a genuine, lasting solution is not found to this crisis soon, and preferably one that does not involve the government in Madrid criminalizing a political movement supported by roughly half the region's population. The greatest tragedy of all, as British-Spanish journalist John Carlin wrote yesterday in the Barcelona daily La Vanguardia, is just how spectacularly unnecessary the current conflict is and how easily it could have all been avoided. He says, first with a change of the sacred text of the Spanish Constitution and the approval of an agreed referendum, just as any other modern and democratic state, Canada, United Kingdom, would have done in similar circumstances. But it could have been avoided with even less, with merely conciliatory gestures and respectful words, with the granting of extra powers to the autonomous Catalan region, with a minimum of statesmanship, with the desire to think first of the general good. Instead, what we have is a constant escalation of tensions from a government majority ruled by a party, Popular Party, that is implicated in over 60 major political scandals, more than just about any other governing party in Europe. And yet, even as the party continually falls on the wrong side of the law, the European Union holds it up as a defender of the rule of law. Spain's premier, Mario Rajoy, recently became the first sitting prime minister to appear as a witness in a Spanish court when he gave evidence in a massive corruption case involving the alleged illegal financing of his Popular Party. One of the dozens of companies embroiled in the Popular Party's kickback scandals is Indra, a semi-state-owned tech giant that organizes the vote. No. Say it ain't so. Hold on. Say it ain't so. I'm in another world right now. This is not real. I got to start over on that one. One of the dozens of companies embroiled in the Popular Party's kickback scandals is Indra, a semi-state-owned tech giant that organizes the vote counting for virtually all of Spain's political elections, including Catalonia. The company is alleged to have paid Rajoy's party 600,000 euros of public funds diverted through a complex network of shell companies. The scandal barely graced the front pages of Spain's newspapers. You don't suppose they have like a CNN, MSNBC thing going over there where they're all owned and bought and paid for by the club over there in Spain. So they don't dare, like over here with MSNBC and CNN, they don't dare tell you real news, real important stuff. They leave it on the back burner for you never to find. Over 60 major, not minor, major political scandals. And they're going to yell at everyone, oh, the rule of law must be followed. You are committing a crime. We will, Article 155, you're sorry, but. Now Indra gets to organize the vote counting for Catalonia's do-or-die elections in December. For years, this sort of corruption has consistently ranked as the second biggest cause for concern after unemployment in Spain. Now it's the prospect of Catalan independence that's at the forefront of people's minds. It's the perfect smokescreen for the endless corruption trials of PP politicians, the stagnating wages, the ballooning public debt, the collapsing banks, and the shrinking pension pot that the government has systematically plundered to plug some of its own massive fiscal shortfalls. In short, Spain's economy is perhaps not as robust as recent growth figures may suggest. Unemployment, and this is their numbers, right? This is their freaking numbers. Yeah, well, America, what do you guys? Oh, we're down by right around 4% unemployment. On what freaking galaxy? In what freaking galaxy? 4% unemployment in America. Get the F out of here. Anyway, unemployment, Spain, already at 17.1%. That's their numbers, and you know they're rigged. All governments have to, because they want you to think, hey, this party's in charge and everything's good. Look at the numbers. Oh, good. So already at 17.1%, surged by 58,000 in October alone as the number of highly seasonal tourist-dependent jobs began shrinking. Market entry salaries are 14% lower than they were in 2008. That sounds fun. That sounds eerily familiar to something that I said years ago. Guys, everyone who was laid off and looking for a job, and I've got a college degree, and I just got out of college, and I'm a young buck, just got out of college. I'm ready to rock and roll, but I don't have a family. I don't have this big giant McMansion or not even a McMansion, house payment. I don't have the stuff that all the rest of you guys in line for this job have. I'm willing to work a little bit less than these guys. Right? Now, normally a company's going to say, yeah, but you're just out of college. You don't have the, how do we say, quote unquote, hands-on experience. But those older folks, and there's 200 of them in line for this one job, you know, half the people in the line are the older folks. They've been doing this for 12, 13, 14, 15 years, maybe longer. They may have already got their degree a long time ago. We'd rather pick them. Problem is, excuse me, I can't work for those wages. I've got kids to feed. Yeah. But the person then quickly comes, reality snaps back into their head. At least it's not minimum wage. I don't have any more student loan debt. Hopefully you don't. And that's a big hopefully, because more than likely you probably do, even as the adult with all the bills to pay. So, again, now it becomes competing, and the company knows we can't afford to pay those fees anymore. That's why there's job opening, but we can't pay you $17 an hour. This one pays $14 an hour. Do you want it? I was making 20. It's 14. Do you want it or not? Again, and then you agree, and someone else got it. Someone else a little more quote unquote qualified got the job. So what I'm trying to tell you is, which I've already said this, the companies will lower the wages, and there'll be essentially a fight, so to speak. Not really a fight, but you know what I mean. Big competition. Hire me. There's been a few videos I've done not too long ago. Haven't had to do one lately, of job opening, so such and such, and the line is out the door, down the street, down the corner. Oh my God! And I remember doing one several months back, where was this at? I don't even remember where this was at now. But the line was like, oh my God, just for that one little whatever job, they were showing up by like the thousands of people to be, fill like 50 jobs. Thousands and thousands showed up. Here we go. Market entry salaries are now 14. That's a big chunk, guys. 14% lower than they were in 2008. Worse still, the economy's recent show of strength was based on three main pillars: consistently low global energy prices, the large-scale diversion of tourists from geopolitical hotspots like Turkey and Egypt, and dirt cheap public debt resulting from Mario Draghi's massive binge buying of Eurozone sovereign bonds. And all of these pillars are beginning to show signs of strain. As tensions continue to rise in Catalonia, the economic uncertainty digs in for the long haul. By Don Guijones. So, pretty, it's pretty darn interesting to say the least. Pretty darn interesting. Take care.